This turns it on. 30 seconds. Okay. We're good to go. Okay. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. I am going to call this regular meeting of council back to order. It is 6:30. The town of Smithers acknowledges the Gidim Den Clan and the Wet'suwet'en people on whose unceded traditional territory we live, work, and play. And the public is notified that this meeting is being webcast, and a notice of which is on the bulletin board outside these chambers. And council, we have an agenda for approval, please. Councillor Raven, Councillor Leonard, all in favor? Any opposed? And that's carried. And Mr. Schroeder, I can't see the screen. Is Councillor Ray with us? I can't. Actually, Councillor Ray, are you there? Can you hear me? Because I can't see you. He's not there. Okay, we're going to wait just one moment. There we go. Okay, Councillor Ray, you can hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, good. We've got you now. And I've called to order when I realized I couldn't see you. Okay, so where we are, we're at the delegation section of our agenda. So the first delegation, we have representatives from Pacific Northern Gas. I'm just going to invite you to come to the delegation table. And I know you've been there before, so you know the drill. And I'll just welcome you. You can start the microphones when you're ready. And for the record, if you don't mind introducing yourselves, and then the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor April and councillors. Delighted to be back again. I can't believe it's already been 12 months. Time sure does fly. I'm David Keir with Pacific Northern Gas. I'm the Director of Business Development and Stakeholder Relations, and I'm joined by my colleague, Joan Isaac.
Yeah, good evening, Joan Isaac, Indigenous and Stakeholder Relations. Really happy to be here and in your lovely chambers.
Well, thanks very much for having us. I know that we're on the clock, so I wanted to circle back and fill you in with an update on where things landed with the revenue requirement application that I spoke to you about this time last year, and then also share a couple of updates about PNG and what's been happening. Joan, next slide, please. Might just be a slight delay. I have to point at the laptop. That's right. David gave us very explicit directions.
There we go.
Okay, so quick refresh. Revenue requirements. That's just the fancy name for rate application. So PNG, cost of service, regulated utility. And every couple of years, we cast forward and say, here is our forecast of costs to operate the system. And here's our forecast of load and revenue from customers, residential, commercial, and industrial. And to the extent there's a gap between costs and revenues, rates change. So the BC Utilities Commission is our economic regulator. They're responsible to approve those costs first as being prudent and efficient, and then they approve the recovery of those costs in rates. So to the charts, what you're seeing there, the green is what PNG proposed. We said, here's our revenue requirement. We'd like to smooth those costs and recover them over 3 years. The commission said, well, those are some pretty big increases in year 1 and year 2, being 25 and 26. So we'd prefer that you smooth it over 5 years with a 17% annual increase. Now, while that looks better over the first 3 years, 25, 26, 27, what it also leaves is an unrecovered balance. So there's about $30 million of costs that the commission has deferred into a future period, which will be recovered in future rates. Next slide. So where does the money go? The big driver of costs over the last number of years, as I shared previously, is with our pipeline integrity work. So the PNG West system, which runs from Summit Lake all the way through this wonderful town of Smithers and out to Terrace, and then down to Kitimat and out to Prince Rupert, there's 576 kilometers of transmission pipeline. And it's primarily that transmission pipeline where the bulk of this pipeline integrity expenditure is incurred. So we have the BCUC, which is our economic regulator, and then the BC Energy Regulator, which is our technical regulator. And if you recall, we were directed by our technical regulator to do a significant amount of inspection work and safety work to ensure that the pipe was safe to operate at a higher pressure. So over the past number of years, 22, 23, 24, PNG spent approximately $30 million a year. But going forward, starting in 25, for this period, 25, 26, 27, that integrity expenditure has been cut in half. And that's more consistent with what we would expect on a forward-looking basis, absent any new large customer connecting to the system. Next slide.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
So this slide here just speaks to that integrity management, and it is a cost driver that directly increases revenue requirements. We also walk through how we proactively maintain the safety and reliability of our pipeline system here before any issues become problems. Our focus is always on protecting people, the environment, and maintaining that dependable service for communities like Smithers. So here we use advanced monitoring, inspections, and other data to identify specific locations that need a closer look. And then from there, we use a targeted approach that minimizes any unnecessary disturbance on the landscape. And so next slide there. Thank you. So this slide here just shows how we use a targeted excavation, only exposing a small section of pipeline where needed. This is very precise work. It's designed to limit the footprint and as well avoid any unnecessary clearing of trees around the area. So once exposed, we conduct that detailed investigation of the pipe to confirm the condition of the pipe. And if needed, then we start to do the repairs. Immediately, we recoat the pipe, and then that maintains that long-term integrity of the system overall. And it's a very proactive approach. It just ensures that future long-term integrity is protected. And then that last picture there just shows how we reclaim that specific site there. The last slide here, really, the picture tells it all. It's restoration afterwards. We backfill the site, we stabilize the area, make sure that all that reclamation work is monitored and that regrowth comes back in. So that's a right of way with very minimal vegetation just to maintain that pipeline integrity as well. We don't want any trees growing over top of pipelines, but that's essentially our right of way there. This next slide speaks to a new initiative that we have coming up. It's the automatic meter reading initiative, and it really just brings PNG up to an industry standard around our meter reading. It really helps our customers to anticipate their bill because it gives them that very specific meter reading. We don't do any more of the estimates on the meter reading with the automatic meters. It also minimizes operation side of things, so our crews are not necessarily having to go out to remote locations, and that minimizes a lot of the operational inefficiencies there. So that's something that's coming up later this year.
Okay, back to me. So I thought I'd quickly touch on, this is an energy use history of your facilities. The bars running from left to right are annual years and gigajoules of total energy usage. So 2022, 23, 24, 25 represent the 4 bars. You can see that there's 3 facilities in particular that have the biggest usage. I believe the bookends on the left-hand side and the right-hand side, those are the 2 ice rinks. And the middle one, I believe, is your swimming pool and rec center. Or maybe I'll just back up and quickly touch on, to the extent that you're looking at opportunities around asset management, you're looking at conservation action, efficiency measures that you can take. I did just want to remind folks that PNG has rebate funding available for doing site audits in your facilities. We have some kind of pre-existing programs that you can take advantage of for conservation, as well as a custom program. And of course, I'll just quickly touch on one of the custom programs that you've recently taken advantage of. So P&G was delighted to provide some rebates for this Real Ice technology. And if you recall, it's a pretty simple tech. And it basically says, hey, you can use hot water to resurface the ice, or you can use cold water to resurface the ice that's been pressurized. And of course, cold water requires less heat, and therefore there's natural gas savings that arise. So we're delighted to follow your journey with Real Ice, and to hopefully get some comments back, as we have from other facilities, that they're satisfied with the ice. And in some cases, folks really, really like the ice. And also on the left, that's an example of a project that we installed at the Northern Valley, the Bulkley Valley Lodge Northern Health Facility, all under our custom program. Oh, thanks, Dave. Yeah, so perhaps just to, I think I've got one more slide here as well. Do I, Joan? That was the last one? Did I have one before that? No, okay. Yeah, just to close on where P&G is going. And we've seen very significant growth, prospective growth around energy exports. Canada has the energy superpower narrative. Folks are pushing LNG exports from the West Coast really, really hard. And the gas that's coming out of the ground in the Montney that is being liquefied for export also is what we call liquids-rich gas, which means it has some of those natural gas liquids like propane and ethane and butane. But propane in particular is driving exports from the AltaGas facility at Ridley Island. So P&G is seeing significant opportunities around liquefaction in Kitimat and Prince Rupert, and significant opportunities for power generation. The BC Hydro system is kind of starting to hit capacity, and to support some of the new industrial growth, whether it's upstream gas, midstream gas, downstream LNG, whether it's new mines, whether it's home heating, whether it's electrification, all of those electrons need to come from somewhere. And we're seeing significant growth in interest in natural gas generation to help support primarily the integration of renewables. When the wind doesn't blow and the sun doesn't shine, you need something to firm up the electrons. And natural gas is typically that resource that provides the capability. So maybe I'll close there and just say that Joan and I are delighted to have the opportunity to come and chat to folks, and we welcome ways in which we can share information about our rebate programs with you and your community. If there's opportunities perhaps to link some messaging on the websites or to participate in community events, we'd love to find some ways to help get that conservation message out.
Thank you. I have a couple of questions, but I'll look to the table first if anyone has questions or comments. Councillor Patterson.
Thank you, Mayor Attrell. Thank you for your presentation. You're very kind. I don't say this often at this table. I'm not going to be as kind. I am very angry, and I'm going to tell you why I'm very angry. I have a new son at home. My family and I work extremely hard. I work 3 jobs to be able to pay the bills, as most of the families in our northern region do. The rates in our community are disproportionately high, including, as you know, natural gas. So you talked about the superpower that is BC, and I would argue Canada, and I agree, which makes me very angry, especially when you talk about industrial development, because the letter that I received in the mail, as many other community members did, saying that, and the BCUC confirmed, that your previous rates were based on assumptions that those projects would come to fruition. And because they didn't, now I pay. So to give the table and people who are listening and yourself an idea of what that looks like, in 2022 from 23, I paid $125 a month. And at my year end was $900. We were a family of 2 at that time. So in 2024, 2025, it went up to 160 to accommodate that. Then my year end was $600. I just paid my year end. I now pay $183 a month as a family of 3. My year end was $640. I think you can understand why I'm angry.
Yes.
And so I'd really like to understand, when you talk about new industrial projects coming on, what is this giant corporation doing to ensure that our community does not continue to bear the brunt of what you call a superpower and the multi-billions that you generate from not only the North area, but BC? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your story and your perspective. And I, take a moment to recognize the hardship. Thank you. So how does industry help? The single biggest reason why rates on the PNG West system have gone up so dramatically is due to the work that's required to ensure the pipeline system is safe and reliable to operate, and the fact that there aren't any large industrial customers as part of the rate base to pick up those costs. Cast back 20 years, the PNG system had Methanex in Kitimat, the Yurkan pulp and paper mill, a number of sawmills through the region, and the Prince Rupert pulp and paper mill. Those industrial customers were consuming 80% of the natural gas on the line, and that also meant that the revenue was there to help offset some of those costs. And over the last 20 years, PNG, as well as a number of other communities in the north, have really struggled to find those new industrial anchor tenants. So what I'm looking forward to is the ability to bring some of those new large customers online over the next number of years. It's a long process. It's a very long sales process, 3 to 5, sometimes 5 to 7 years. But once those customers are connected and online, now you've got an incremental source of revenue to help ease the burden on the residential and commercial customers that have been picking up, you could argue, an undue share for the last number of years. That's the single most important thing that PNG can do to help stabilize and potentially reduce future rates, is to bring on new large industrial load.
Thanks, Mr. Kier. There are other questions? Okay.
Thank you, Mayor Attrell. So I just want to, I guess, speak on behalf of my community and just say that that's incredibly confusing, I guess, and disappointing, and recognizing that that didn't work the last go around. So to put all of our eggs in one basket and hope that that's going to happen again, I guess just wasn't the answer I was looking for, but thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Okay. I mean, I do remember the presentation the last time, which described the history of PNG, including the loss of the major industrial players. So I do recall that. And I also recall that this community was one of many who looked for a different sort of approach to rates, which you've addressed through the presentation. And I think the one thing you said is that a portion of it is still hanging out there, that there were the rates approved for the first 2 or 3 years, but there's still $30 million unaccounted for that will show up in rates at some point, and you're still working with BCUC on that?
Well, that's a BCUC decision. So the BCUC has accepted PNG's costs as being prudent and efficient, but rather than recovering those costs over 3 years, the commission said, we would prefer you recover them over 5. It's akin to not paying your credit card bill on time. So that money is basically deferred and will be recovered in future rates.
And those rates haven't been determined yet?
That's right. So we've only filed a rate application for 25, 26, 27. So that $30 million of deferred costs plus finance charges will be picked up in the next revenue requirement. Let's assume 28, 29, 30.
Thank you. I think it was nice to see the real ice in here. So, and just seeing that makes me know that perhaps the next thing I'm going to say is a bit redundant. And that is, we do rely on the work of our climate action specialist, Jema Timler, who was involved in that project. So perhaps you're already in touch, but that's certainly the key person in our organization to figure out how we're mitigating effects of climate change and doing the right thing in terms of bringing down costs for our taxpayers. So wanted to note that. And I think this might be a bit clunky. And I think in communities, when you're talking about the major projects, so this isn't a PNG thing. I think it's tempering for communities what the benefits might be of major projects as they're being identified in Northwest BC in particular, against the impact on communities. I touched base with you just ahead of the meeting on that. Like, we'll be expected to be ready for major projects. And so this is not something you can fix on your own, but you're part of the ecosystem of projects. And I think as communities, what we're looking for is that we are included in the discussions to make sure that we can actually accommodate whatever lands in terms of increased businesses, increased residents, and demands on facilities. So that's not a PNG alone thing. That's me speaking, from my role in the Resource Benefit Alliance, that we're needing to make sure communities are kept whole so that we can support residents and businesses and increase demand on our communities. And I know that's not the first time you've heard it. I just feel
No.
it's responsible to say it at this table.
Yeah, thank you. Certainly a shared perspective, a bunch of us, and P&G included, we're all being asked to do more with less. And P&G is actually a really small utility company. We only have 155 full-time employees across all of our service areas. That's Tumbler Ridge, Dawson Creek, Fort St. John, and then our entire P&G West system. So, we've done more in the last number of years than the company had done in the prior couple of decades. And, we're gearing up for some pretty busy years ahead too.
Thanks. And I will note as well that there is a PNG office here with people who are employed and make their homes here. So also acknowledge that. It's great to have those folks living here. Okay, with that, were there any other thoughts from people? Okay, well, thank you for making the journey to Smithers, for showing up, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your beautiful evening here. And perhaps I'll see you on Thursday at the regional district meeting.
Thank you, Mayor Attrill.
Thank you.
Thanks very much for having us, and thank you for your questions.
Thank you. Okay, well, we'll take a moment then to trade up people at the delegation table. So next up, we have Sarah Sally Harvey. The floor is yours. And again, for the record, if you don't mind, just introduce yourself, and then the floor is yours.
Hi, my name is Sally Harvey. My formal name is Sarah Harvey, and I am a physician here in Smithers. I've been living here since 2021, and I'm here today as a representative of CAPE, BC, and just also as a person who lives in the north. And CAPE is the Canadian Association of Physicians for the Environment. And I did send a letter to council members last week, sort of outlining what I'm here to speak to you about today. And so I just wanted to add to the letter, which was calling for an independent industry-funded cumulative health impact assessment of the LNG industry in BC. So what is LNG? So it's called liquid natural gas. It's a fossil fuel, just like coal, and it's mostly composed of methane. So studies have shown that LNG from extraction to burning is as bad as burning coal in terms of its contribution to climate change. And emissions are often underreported. They could be up to 54% higher than official figures, and it's responsible for a third of today's global warming. So that's just a little cartoon underneath, just describing, just sort of outlining what the industry is. So the first one is fracking. Second one is a pipeline, and that's kind of where we come in, because the pipeline and all of the proposed multiple additional pipelines, new ones, not repairing old ones, but brand new ones. And then LNG is an export facility where it's packaged up and shipped over. Predominantly, this is intended for Asian markets, not for local markets. This has nothing, the gas that is produced from the LNG facilities has nothing to do with bringing our rates down or local customers. I also just want to point out too that I'm here as a volunteer. Like, I know you recently had a visit from at the regional district, people from the LNG company. I am not a paid lobbyist. I'm here as a volunteer. So I think it's just important to make that point. So how does LNG fit in northern BC? So first of all, there's an outline there on that. I think it's a really good cartoon of what fracking is. So all of it really comes now from frack gas. It's unconventional gas extraction. So it used to be just sort of in a big bubble that they would extract. So now they drill pipes through the groundwater table deep into the ground. They pump millions of gallons of water into the ground that is mixed with toxic chemicals, and it can never be recovered. Then after it cracks and the gas is released and collected, lots of it is leaked out. I mean, they're working on that. They're working on making it better, but there are leaks. And then the contaminated water is put in these pits or tanks, and you just hope that it doesn't leak into our groundwater systems. And then it's permanently contaminated forever. And then it's, so yeah, that's just sort of an example of what happens. So the next slide, thanks, David's helping me. So you'll see all those red dots up there. The fracking in Northeast BC is over the Mountain A Basin, and it has exploded. Like it is just exponentially the development has increased. And so now they are wanting to build lots of new pipelines to get this gas to export facilities for Asian markets. So I'll just move over. Thank you. So here are the pipelines. This is sort of where we come in. That's the CGL pipe, the Coastal GasLink pipeline that we all know very well. So that's just the pipeline that was just built that goes to Kitimat, which has the LNG Canada facility. So construction, there are an influx of workers into rural and remote communities, increasing pressure on local health systems that are already at capacity. There are work camps of up to 1,500 people that have been associated in multiple studies with the increased risk of violence against women and substance use. Compressor stations, which are required all along the pipeline, require routine depressurization and venting, and that releases methane. And there's continually emit pollutants, including nitrous oxide, particulate matter, and VOCs. And just to put into perspective what having 1,500 people in a camp north of Hazelton is going to mean, which is right along the Highway of Tears, it's going to mean that the facilities, the healthcare facilities there, which were at 200% capacity. So Wrench Memorial last year was at 200% capacity as it was. There will be overflow. There will be more people in our emerge and in our hospital as a result of this, just to be prepared, just to understand what the effects on the health of our community will be. So in northern BC, the export facility. So in Kitimat, LNG Canada is the 6th largest export facility in the world. It is the controlled burning of mostly methane is what flaring is. So startup or commissioning, maintenance, and shutdown all require flaring. So a recent study showed that the commissioning phase is associated with the highest emission phase of a plant's life, and it was not included in the environmental assessment of LNG Canada. Those are just pictures taken by a medical colleague of mine that lives in Kitimat. That has been going on since June 2024. It's associated with noxious smells, black smoke, and residents are reporting increased symptoms like blood coming out of their nose, coughing, worsening respiratory symptoms, requiring puffers. Some people there are getting moved actually to different houses, but they have to sign non-disclosure agreements in order to be moved. So this recently was published in 2009. Finally, LNG admitted that there was actually a problem with their facility and that they have exceeded volumes allowed under permits. So next slide. As we've all been talking about, there's major expansions happening. So that is the Pacific Northern Gas Pipeline there going to Kitimat. So, and then there's the Prince Rupert Gas Transmission that you can see. So these are all, so the one that's there right now exists, the Pacific Northern Gas Pipeline. I believe that's the one that's getting repaired, right? That's the one that actually exists. And then CGL also exists now. But then the Prince Rupert Gas Transmission is the one that's what Mark Carney earmarked as the major project. So next slide, please. Thank you, David. So there's a large and growing body of evidence that links LNG production to health harms for humans, and there are wide gaps in monitoring, reporting, and access to exposure data related to this industry. And Canadian and BC regulations are not as stringent as other countries and provinces. And I just want to point out that there are other countries and provinces, many of them have moratoria on expansion of this industry or even fracking at all. Next slide. So how does this affect Northerners in particular? Well, it definitely affects climate change, the burning of this, like extraction to finalizing. And they call it green because they are using hydroelectric power to power the whole process. And that's also going to increase our hydro bills as well. So climate change, record wildfires, heat domes, drought, and crop failures, that's definitely because of climate change, which is contributed to by burning of fossil fuels. And then patients living near fracking pipelines and export facilities are exposed to increased levels of benzene, formaldehyde, and fine particulates. These are associated with asthma, heart disease, birth defects, childhood leukemia, preterm labor, it's not listed there, neurodevelopmental and neurodegenerative diseases. And of course, there's ecosystem damage. You know what? Next slide. Oh, also just ecosystem damage. There is such bad drought in the Northeast right now because they have run out of water. I don't remember that last summer, Dawson Creek ran out of water. They're piping water over land, but at the same time, all of this fracking continues. So what happens is that the fracking companies pull extra water off during the spring freshet, which should be returned to the water cycle, but then they stockpile it and they continue to frack all during times of drought when other people aren't allowed to water their lawns or gardens. So yes, LNG has taken center stage at the Carney administration's nation building strategy. It's being actively subsidized by ourselves. The regional health costs are not being considered, and the health of British Columbians should be a higher priority than industry handouts, in my opinion. There are real health consequences to this, but they have not been fully studied yet. If I could see the next slide. Oh, I just want to make a quick point about LNG and jobs, because I know that that was a big message at the Bulkley Chaco that was written in the paper. Fossil fuel production in Canada grew 47% from 2012 to 2023, but employment in the industry is falling because of automation. Renewable energy building retrofits, grid upgrades generally create more jobs per dollar invested. And usually those jobs are people that live in the community, as opposed to, the work camps and the industry setup. It's a lot of fly-in workers, they aren't long-term jobs for people that live in the community. So we really should consider both the economic benefits and the health and environmental costs when we're evaluating further LNG development. Slide. So what can we do? I understand we need oil and gas. We can't turn off the pumps. We need this, but we also need a healthy economy for people to live productive lives and support their families. And we deserve to be healthy no matter where we live. And I have a feeling that people just think that all this is happening up there somewhere, and they don't understand that we actually live up there. We need to acknowledge that there are known health harms from this industry, and regulations and monitoring of these is lacking. We need to have an independent industry-funded cumulative health impact assessment performed so that this industry, which will be with us for a while, can be as safe as possible for our communities. So that's our ask. And then if you could just keep going. So health impact assessments safeguard community well-being. They examine the full range of environmental, social, and economic impacts of an industry. And the key word is cumulative. It's not a point in time. So people say, okay, yeah, all of the air quality indicators around Kitimat are fine, but there is constant low level exposure to these things, and we don't know what that means in the long term. Thanks, David. So who else has done this? Squamish carried a similar ask. They have asked for an independent cumulative health impact assessment, and so has Terrace, so has the Hazelton, so has Dawson Creek, and most recently, actually it's not there, New Westminster also. They are they're frontline with Tilbury. And then the health, and like I said in the letter to you as well, the Health Officers Council of BC also endorsed this. So that's all of the public health officers, public health physicians in the province. So I'm not coming out from left field with this ask. We should join our northern neighbors and our fellow communities that also are in the front lines. And we need to understand, I mean, I'm not saying that we have to turn oil and gas off. Of course, we need this. And there are lots of people in this community that work in this industry, but they deserve to be healthy. And we deserve to know what the actual impacts of this industry are on our health. And people will say, well, how do you know that's not because they smoke? Or that's the point, is that we need to collect hard data for this, and we need the industry to pay for this. These are multi-billionaires that are there are major profits to be had for this expansion, and it's not for us, it's for Asian markets, and it's not even certain markets. So I'm not here to discuss really the economics of it, which I think are questionable, but I am here to say that there are known health harms related to this industry. And up here, we have a double whammy because we're getting the climate change, which is an undisputable fact related to LNG. It is not green energy. It's just called green because we're funding the hydroelectric power for it. And it is cleaner than tar sands in other countries. And also it affects our health directly. And we are seeing this, and my colleagues from across the north, physicians from across the north, are noticing this in their patients. Thank you.
Thanks, Sally. I'll look first to the table if anyone has questions or comments. Councillor Raven.
So when we're talking about the cumulative health impacts of all of this, have there been studies in other countries or where they're doing LNG? Is there anywhere else in the world that's been looking into the cumulative impacts on health?
So there are lots of studies that have been done, and it has been shown that communities that live along the path of this industry have poorer health than those that don't. Do they have exact causal data? Well, mostly they can only do that. There haven't been any cumulative studies that have come out yet. They just started one for the tar sands that the Canadian government funded $12 billion, but you would think that that's kind of maybe the cow had left the barn at that point. It would be nice for something to get started, not after the fact. The studies that have been done locally so far are mostly in the Northeast, and they involve pregnant women, and they have noticed that there are increased amounts of these toxins in their blood and their hair compared to people that don't live near this industry. And they have noticed increased levels of preterm labor. They mostly are looking at the implications for, babies, because it's really hard to find a worker that's been working in this industry and follow them for 40 years. It really does take money, but they need to start doing that. I mean, when you talk to people, and I've been all over Northern BC because of my job as the medical imaging lead for Northern Health, and you speak to locals like in Dawson Creek, and they're like, oh yeah, I know that I'll probably die early from cancer, but that's just, it's an accepted fact that people have in these communities, it seems. And of course, you could say this is anecdotal right now, but there are lots of studies that just show not direct cause, but associations at this point. Sorry, I went on.
Councillor Patterson.
Thank you, Mayor Attrell. I just want to say with great love, I love the social justice warrior vibe that you're emitting right now. It's very inspiring. I think you're right in many ways, in that having grown up working in the natural resource sector and actually having lived and worked in the Northeast, there's a huge discrepancy between the social determinants and assessments that we do to like the natural resource assessment. So you talked about the environmental assessment process. So I love that you've brought this forward, because I would argue that we don't do it well, probably on many major industrial projects, and there's always room for improvement. So I like that you touched on that a little bit, and I couldn't help but laugh when you talked about the water. I mean, it's not funny, but I think about projects in the Northeast, and specifically Site C, and we talk about impacts and what can happen in communities when we don't do the long-term planning, when we talk about climate change and long-term impacts, and we think about how much that community has gone through the ringer when you talk about natural resource development. So I'm glad that you touched on the Northeast. I think it's important. And I was actually interested to see if you talked to our MP, because I know he's intimately familiar with this subject matter. I was just curious what.
So I have spoken to our MLA about this, and I have spoken at length to an engineer and a gentleman who works in the oil and gas industry in the Northeast. We were introduced through CAPE. He's very pro oil and gas, but he completely believes that the regulations for human health are not anywhere near as strict as they could be. So what I really like about him is I would prefer, obviously, more of an emphasis on renewables, but we really, really have reached common ground on the fact that we both truly believe that there are negative impacts on health harm. And I asked him, and again, he's very pro-industry, should I talk to Ellis Ross? And he said, don't bother. So I haven't. Maybe I should. I don't know.
If I may, Your Worship.
Okay, and then I'm going to move on
Just-
to Councillor Ray.
I would just encourage you to do that. I think
Yeah.
that's part of his
I mean,
role.
I've
And
been busy, but
yeah, and I
would
think
like
he has
to, I should.
extensive experience in that as well too. And I would just say that I know this will come back to council, but something that I was thinking of is just perhaps bringing it forward to the North Central Local Government Association, because that is a
The
forum.
who?
The North Central Local Government Association. Mayor Attrell will have more information on that as the president. But just the fact that you can bring forward resolutions or topics of interest that impact all of the North area, not just our town. So just something to mention as well.
Okay,
too.
thanks. And I just want to mention that, again, I'm not saying we need to stop oil and gas. I'm just saying we really, and as you said, they really do focus on the environmental considerations, but they really don't focus on human health. And I think it's time for us to start doing that. And if you guys are interested in moving this forward, I would be able to provide you with copies of all of the language that has been used by all of the other communities that have done this.
Thank you. Councillor Ray.
Pardon me. I hope you can understand me. My voice sounds awful. I was just wondering what the end goal, so say we do get this assessment, what would you expect to come out of it afterwards?
So I would expect us to be able to have our eyes wide open, and I would expect that there would be more stringent regulations regarding, the people that have to go into those tanks in the Northeast and clean them. And also just, for example, LNG Canada was approved to go ahead and open when they hadn't properly accounted for the health implications or the health impacts of the flaring. So I'm just hoping that the industry itself would have tighter regulations to account for the human health harms that we're seeing associations for. But we would have more clear, there would be more clear reasons for them to improve what they do.
Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Ray. Okay. Lots has gone round. I've lost my own bouncing ball here. Oh, the one note I made, so it was interesting that you talked about what's happening at Wrench in terms of capacity, which is an extension to what you're talking about. And I think it relates in some ways to what I'm saying about our capacity as communities to deal with projects as well. So I think information arms us to know what the right questions are to ask and to work with the other orders of government to ensure communities are prepared, including the health aspect of communities. There have been all kinds of projects, big and small, who generally say that they are self-sufficient. And this includes very small projects, but when something goes wrong, they actually rely on communities. And so it does make sense for us to know in our communities and our hospital districts what's coming and what to be prepared for. And I can't remember who asked it, like, what do you do with the information? At a health forum a bit ago, we were reviewing statistics on the different health attributes of people in Northwest, and it had to do with premature death in accidents, but it linked it to the fact that we are also more prone to smoking and drinking, which led to more alcohol-related accidents. So the information tethers to put a story together that enables us perhaps to do things differently. So it's a little parallel, but I can see getting information enables those of us in communities, plus in hospital districts and the health industry, to at least be aware of what's coming and to arm people better with information. And hopefully we do better going forward. Some things are a struggle because we're humans, but information is good for us. So thank you. So I think it's already noted we will receive, we have a staff recommendation just to get a report back. We have the letter and we have the information from your delegation today. So thanks a lot.
Well, if you'd like so at some point, are you going to vote whether or not you would do
Yep.
this? And you'll do that some other time. And if you do get to that point, I can send you copies of the other letters.
Okay, maybe it would make sense to just send us the copies of the letters. And if you could send them to front desk or general? Front desk? Front desk at smithers.ca.
front@smithers.ca.
Front
At
at
Smithers.
Smithers. Yeah. Okay.
And if you have anyone else's emails, if you forget that one, you can just phone us and we'll get you the right email so that we have all the information. The recommendation for this evening is just to ask staff to bring it back to us with this information, your letter, and whatever else we have. So
Okay.
just send it all and then we'll have it all for consideration.
And this is asking the industry to fund an independent health impact assessment. It's just like finding out more about our health, because I think it's just really, in closing, if I could, I think when people talk about these major projects, when Mark Kearney talks about it, or even when I talk to people on airplanes that have been up building pipelines, great, really nice people, they don't live around here. And they just say, well, they just think that these pipelines run through lands that are kind of in no man's land, that nobody cares about and that no one's around. And I think it's just really important that we do live, and the implications for these major projects and on our health, I think are very significant, and we should really find out the facts.
Thanks very much, Sally. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it. I'm just going to take a moment because I have to get those things out. They're really long to read, so bear with me. Okay. Even to an empty house, I'm going to do some reading so everyone can just sit back. So this is the public speaking opportunity, and I am going to read this following statement. The public opportunity to speak is convened in accordance with the community charter to allow the public to make representations to council regarding development variance permit application DV 26-03 for 1306 Main Street. The town of Smithers has received a DVP application for 1306 Main Street. The applicant is proposing to vary section 8.4A of the town of Smithers sign bylaw 1841, increasing the maximum fascia sign area permitted for the fresh sliced pizza business from 2.025 meters squared to 4.076 meters squared. Those present who believe your interest in property is affected by the proposed variance permit are provided this opportunity to be heard. And since I don't have anyone in the gallery, I'm not going to read the instructions on how to present yourself at the table. And did we receive any letters, Mr. Schroeder?
No, we did not, your worship.
Okay. Then I think I can declare the public speaking opportunity closed. All right. It is 7:16 and I'm going to declare this public speaking opportunity regarding DVP 26-03 for 1306 Main Street closed at 7:16. And another one. This is a public opportunity to speak convened in accordance with the community charter to allow the public to make representations regarding development variance permit application DV 26-05 for 3208 and 3220 3rd Avenue. The town has received the DVP application for 3208 and 3220 3rd Avenue. The applicant is proposing to construct an additional 24-hour assisted living building on the vacant portion of the parcel serving 4 residents. The applicant is proposing to vary sections of the town of Smithers bylaws, Section 142 of Table 4.1 of the Town of Smithers zoning bylaw 1987 by reducing the rear yard setback of the existing principal building from 3 meters to 1.8 meters and the front yard setback of the proposed principal building from 6 meters to 3 meters. Section 3.6 of the Town of Smithers water regulation bylaw 954 by increasing the number of independent water service connections permitted for a parcel from 1 to 2. Section 426 of Schedule A to the Town of Smithers Subdivision Servicing and Development Standards bylaw number 1800 by increasing the number of sanitary service connections permitted for individual ownership from 1 to 2. Those present who believe your interest in the property is affected by the proposed DVP are provided this opportunity to speak. And Mr. Schroeder, any letters?
None, your worship.
Okay, then I'm going to declare this public opportunity to speak closed and it is 7:17 p.m. Okay, that was my reading practice. And where we are then, council. We are at section 8 minutes and we have the minutes from June 9th for approval, please. Councillor Bucama, Councillor Raven, any errors or omissions? Seeing none. Councillor Ray, I realize I may not see you, so if you are trying to get my attention and you feel I've not caught it, please just interrupt. And otherwise, that's approved. Okay. We have nothing under section 9. Okay, in that case, we're moving to council reports. First up, Councillor Bucama.
Thank you, Mayor Attrell. Today, I attended a lunch hour meeting sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce. And it was a fairly well-attended meeting and someone from the CRA presented on the many federal tax incentives there are for businesses to support innovation and growth. And the federal government actually has a very sizable pot of money that can be accessed. And I think a lot of local businesses were happy to hear about that. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Buckham. Councillor Elliott sends regrets. Councillor Leonard.
June 11th, attended a meeting here at Town Hall with Surge Copper about their proposed mine just south of Houston. So they're just starting their public engagement process. And I attended with a few other councillors. Can't quite remember everybody, so I won't name them. And last week was a busy week. There was the Cow Tuesday, Mabel Forsyth's Freedom of the Municipality Award, and the C2C all last week.
Thanks, Councillor Leonard. Councillor Patterson.
Thank you, Mayor Attrell. So this afternoon, I attended a call with Mayor Attrell as well, which was the Healthcare Professionals Recruitment and Retention Information Center session that was hosted by Honorable Ministers Osborne and Anderson. So I was grateful that they even hosted a town hall. Apparently that was something that was done by their predecessors. And so it was actually a really great opportunity, not only to have direct communication with the ministry in real time, but to hear from other municipalities across the province on what's working well and what's not in our attempts to recruit and retain healthcare professionals. Some of the key themes that came out, and this won't be a surprise to this table, but housing, childcare, some of the things that people focused on that worked really well are welcome wagons and the density funding program. So for anyone who's going to be running in the next provincial election, I would just encourage them to look at this density funding program and how many municipalities have found that to be incredibly helpful in supporting workforce housing for healthcare professionals. Thanks.
Thanks, Councillor Patterson. Councillor Raven.
So yeah, it's been a busy couple weeks. So June 11th, there was a Surge Copper presentation. On June the 12th, I was able to go to the Buddy Up program at Pioneer Place and just connect with the organizer and volunteers there. And then also see a room full of seniors getting together for social engagement. There were games, lots of laughter. My favorite game was the pool noodle, where there was a balloon and they had to hit it back and forth. It was awesome. June 16th, I went to the Honoring Our Elders portrait unveiling at Smithers Secondary School. So there's one Indigenous elder and one non-Indigenous elder that gets memorialized in a portrait that hangs on the outside of the school. And this year was Sue Alfred and Henry Kempner. And the artists were Avery and Marley. And it just takes a lot of courage to have two artists know that their artwork will live forever on the outside of a public building. And I just wanted to say that they both did a fantastic job. On the 17th, we, of course, honored Chief Timberwolf with the Freedom of the Municipality. I believe all of council was in attendance for that. And that was just an incredible event. And I think that Mayor Attrell summed it up beautifully. It was just a great speech, and I do encourage people to check that out. There was also the C2C the following day. And then on the 19th, there was Indigenous Day out in Whitsett. So they had vendors, traditional foods, braiding. I actually got my hair braided for the first time. It was awesome. And then that evening was the community dinner hosted by the Deslacant Friendship Center. It was at the Cultural Hall. And one really cool piece that happened is they acknowledged some of their steadfast supporters in the community. So Lonnie Weeb, Thomas Camus, and Kathleen Cunningham were all presented with small gifts just because they always show up at all the events. And then I also jumped on the healthcare recruitment and retention Zoom this afternoon. And that was just very eye-opening and also made me realize how lucky we are here in Smithers. Our ER hasn't closed. We have quite good staffing compared to some of the other hospitals in the region. And I have to say is the efforts made by Northern Health have been paying off. We seem to be doing well. And just, of course, that doesn't mean we take our foot off the pedal.
Thanks, Councillor Raven. And I'll just note that the APC minutes are there behind your name as well. Councillor Ray.
I attended some of those events, but nothing unique to me. So I'll save my voice.
Thanks, Councillor Ray. Thanks for joining us when you're not feeling that well. Yeah, lots of people have mentioned it. I'll just mention a couple of things. I not only did not I submit a report, I didn't take time to write a report, so I'm really going through my memory right now. Apologies for that. You know what, the thing I will recognize in the events that we had last week relating to Chief Timberwolf, Mabel Forsyth, and then people have referenced C2C. For those in the community who may not know, that means community to community. And this organization gathered with chiefs and some staff at the office of the Wet'suwet'en Community C2C. So it was a meaningful week, and I think I also want to acknowledge, he's not with us here this evening, but we have a new Wet'suwet'en ambassador, and that's Tyler McCreary. Generally, when staff are new, they have an opportunity to introduce themselves at council, so that may yet happen, but he was definitely a part of that along with the staff team. So it took many people to put those events together. So thank you to staff for all the work that happened. I know there was a lot of effort, and I'm looking at those that are here at the table, and if you can share that with your colleagues who worked very hard, it's much appreciated. We get to go, we get to stand up in front, and you make that happen for us. So thank you very much. I, as mayor, was invited to deliver some words to the high school grad. It is really a fun thing to do, and I'm grateful for the invitation. It was nice to see all the folks lined up, the young people, to look at what their faces looked like and to hear from those who spoke. And it was a pleasure to be able to say a few words. So that was at the Smithers Secondary grad, but I know that the Christian school graduation, I knew this a bit ago, I think was later the same week it's happened, I believe. Yeah, okay. That was very awkward, but I realize the high schools had their graduations. Congratulations to all those who are embarking on a new part of their life. And then yesterday, the Attorney General, Nikki Sharma, was in town. So I was able to meet with her and her assistant, with Michael Dewar, our CIO, yesterday morning. So we were able to just touch base on a couple of things that would be no surprise to this table. Things that are sort of cracks within the justice system that are affecting us. It was interesting to be able to hear from Attorney General Sharma on her perspective. And then there was a roundtable in here in the afternoon with many, many people. It was a full house. Many people associated with the Northern Society for Domestic Peace, some from the Situation Table, and some from our neighboring communities. It was a very moving day where people talked about what they do when they're trying to assist people who are living in difficult times, and also to assist them through the criminal justice system, sometimes well, sometimes not so well. I will say the Attorney General was very inquisitive. She was interested in what can we do, small and big. And she said, sometimes we don't have time for major policy changes, but sometimes someone knows how to make something happen. And she was looking for those quick wins that she could share both with this room and to take back with her. We were here for a couple of hours, and it was a heavy room, but it was a room that I think was worth being in. And it demonstrated, I think, the care of the minister and her team that were with her to really listening to people. And so it felt like probably one of the most meaningful couple of hours I've spent sitting in a room where people are just talking about what's going on in their day-to-day. And that feels like it. Thank you for your patience. Okay, we are up to staff reports. First one, 14.1, is just the recommendation. It's on the agenda from staff regarding the delegation from the Canadian Association of Physicians for the Environment, and the recommendations there. If someone wants to move, Councillor Raven moves. Is there a seconder? Councillor Buikema. Any discussion? Councillor Leonard.
I just want to be on record as saying, while I appreciate where Dr. Harvey's coming from, we do have energy regulators in the province and in Canada. And I have a different opinion on how stringent our regulations are in this country. I think that we are, well, my research says we are leading in the LNG industry. So while I welcome the report, I just hope that it also includes maybe some viewpoints from the other side of the story.
Thanks, Councillor Leonard. Any other comments? Okay, I'm gonna just call the vote then. All in favor? Any opposed? And that's carried unanimously, I think, if I got everyone's hands. And sorry, Counselor Ray, one more time, I didn't think to look up. I hope I didn't. Okay, thank you. Okay, 14.2 from Ms. LeBlanc, and it is the annual report for adoption. It's a big report. It's a lot of work. Counselor Patterson, Counselor Bucama, you're moving?
If I may, Your Worship, I believe, and staff can correct me if I'm wrong, there's one minor change in the recommendation.
Okay, did you move? Did you move it so we can get it on the floor? Moved and seconded then? Okay, Counselor Patterson.
I believe it should read the 2025 annual report under recommendation.
Good catch. It's right in the first sentence.
And if I may, Your Worship, just a comment, sort of reflecting as I wind down in my term that walking around town this summer, I am just in awe of all the large and small scale projects that this municipality has underway. I know when you read the municipal report, people might just gloss over it or not pay attention, but like the list is endless. We've got the airport master plan, fire department, improvements to town hall. You're doing operational improvements, physical. All the roads and sidewalks are looking spiffy and brand new. We got a new library, soil, water. I mean, everything is contaminated apparently, and yet staff just continue to manage all of these crises. So for anyone who's not paying attention to the municipal reports, just please, when you see town staff, thank them for the tireless work that they do, as there's just been significant amount of change and hurdles that they've overcome this last year. And I don't think the report tells that story. So that's all I have. Thanks.
Thanks, Counselor Patterson. Anyone else? Counselor Bucama.
Yeah, I really appreciated the quality of the information in the annual report. Paints a real nice snapshot of what happened in 2025. So thanks to town staff.
Thanks, Counselor Bucama. Counselor Leonard.
I also share that sentiment with my fellow counselors. I thought it was a great package and appreciate all the work that has gone into it. I did pass along some small typos and edits to Mr. Schroeder and Ms. LeBlanc today. So I think I got confirmation that those are incorporated and appreciate that. So that's all I have to say.
Thanks, Counselor Leonard. Then I'll just double check. So if we move the report, it'll come with whatever corrections you've made. So if there are errors, they will be corrected. So we don't have to alter the motion.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, perfect. Okay, was there any other comments then? The only other thing I'd say, because these reports are so long, is I started reading word for word, and then at some point I cut to the chase, which was the 2025 summary and the 2026 look ahead. And if I were going to use this document going forward, that's probably where I'd land. So it's super helpful. So thanks to Ms. LeBlanc. She's not here right now, but it's nice to know where to go for the Coles notes when you need them. Oh, we have to vote. All in favor? Any opposed? And that's carried. Okay. 14.3 from Mr. Smith. This is the development variance permit for Fresh Slice, and there is a recommendation. Anyone wants to put it on the floor? Councillor Leonard moves. Is there a seconder? Councillor Bucama. Is there discussion? Councillor Leonard, go ahead.
I appreciated the report, and it's not specifically a comment on the recommendation, but there was some discussion about amending the bylaw, which I would just encourage staff, and I hope that's kind of in the docket for these corner buildings, because it does make a lot of sense. You know, what's been put into this report and the fact that they have two sides that they have to deal with. So it makes a lot of sense to me to have that amendment to the bylaw.
Thanks, Councillor Leonard. Councillor Ray.
Yeah, sorry, I was just wondering why it's more than doubled if there's two signs. So sorry. So we're going from no, I didn't write it down, but the total sign area is more than double what's allowed on just the frontage. I was just wondering if staff could comment on that.
Mr. Allen.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Attrell. The sign on each side actually meets the maximum permitted area. It's just simply And there, it's not a variance application for the total number. 2 signs are permitted. It's just simply that on each building face, there's a maximum area. And our current sign bylaw only requires that maximum area on one face. So as Councillor Leonard referred to the corner lots, they have the 2, where a tenancy has 2 facades or 2 frontages, one on each side of the corner. That's where the amendment to the sign bylaw would permit that area to, that maximum area to be on both sides. So
Councillor,
that's why it's currently a variance application, because we don't permit that currently.
Councillor Ray?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Anyone else? No one will be surprised, and I'm going to jump in on this. I mean, I'm not sure if I'm going to die on this hill, but it was intentional that we would limit signs. And so to limit some of the extra visual impact to people on the street. So when the sign bylaw was written, it was intentional. The materials component, the intentional to keep things a bit more muted. And I saw, you know, and I admire the way Ms. Chandran puts the reports together and connects things back to our bylaws. And I read the piece about, you know, the franchisees, and I've also witnessed Ms. Chandran talk to franchisees and say, this is how it is here, and franchisees actually accommodate us. And I've seen that in other communities too. So I think it is really important to stick to the intent of the sign bylaw, which keeps, you know, that extra verbiage down. And so while I might accept, I'm not sure I really do, but I might accept that you need 2 signs, because I drove around today and I really looked at corner lots. Some have them and some don't. And so, and then some have like a fascia sign on the front, and then they have whatever this, like, oh no, they have a hanging sign on the front and they have a fascia sign on. So I'm not seeing this needing to maximize the big fascia signs on both sides. I think there's other ways. And I mean, this is what was asked for by the proponent. But I'm not sure that I think enshrining this in a future bylaw amendment meets the intention of the sign bylaw, which was to keep things looking very classy on Main Street. That speaks to the materials that were there. You know, so I really had a look at old signs and new signs today. And some of them, this is just subjective, what I think looks lovely, but there are some really lovely handcrafted signs. And I think this one is going to, I tried to read it. It says aluminum, so it's going to be a metal sign that's somehow colored. Like what is the finish on this sign, Mr. Allen? Do you know?
Yes, I believe it is aluminum.
And-
Painted aluminum, yes.
Okay, so it's painted, so it's still going to meet the materials, the materials component. Okay.
They comply, yes.
Okay, so I think, you know, I could get my head around 2 signs. I'm not sure that it needs to have that scale of signs. I think it could be done a different way, and we'll just see where the table goes. But yeah, I'd be interested if, you know, you were at the APC, I think. So maybe I'll hear that feedback, but at this point, I'm hesitant to support this. I wouldn't like to see this trend continue when others have done kind of really classy signs a different way.
So the kind of feedback around APC is that signage is good. It's for wayfinding. People know where it is. So there was overall support. So I have a question. So I know that we have very specific bylaws about the signs. Would having the 2 signs impede them from putting any logoing on the windows, or is that completely separate?
Mr. Allen.
Yeah, signs are permitted on windows, but they can only take up 25% of the area of the windows. I believe that's in the sign bylaw.
Because I have to say, like, where I'm going is, I think having the round one on the actual Main Street side makes sense. It's a hanging sign. So many of the other businesses have the hanging signs. Having the large one on the side on 4th Ave it just seems like a bit of overkill having the big sign plus the hanging sign. And then I've already seen that they do have some logoing before, or like, I know they're not in yet, but they already have some like logoing on the door and stuff. So I almost think like if you have the windows, the door, the big sign, and then the little hanging sign, I mean, I'm a fan of not being subtle, but that might even be a bit over the top, even from where my brain is. But I'm happy to hear what other people have to say.
Thanks, Councillor Raven. Yeah, I'll see you, Councillor. Maybe just for clarity, because we do have lots of window decaling as well, and you said it's 25% is what is allowed to happen. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, it needs to be on the inside. Is that correct? There's not decaling on the outside?
I don't think that's regulated. It could be on the exterior
Oh,
as
okay.
well, but it's typically more secure on the inside.
Okay. Thanks, Mr. Allen. Councillor Leonard.
Yeah, I just, from a business person perspective, if I was walking from No Frills down 4th Avenue and there was no sign, I wouldn't necessarily see that business was open for business. So it's just a comment. Yeah.
Councillor Patterson. Thanks, Councillor Leonard.
Thank you, Mayor Atchell. I don't like the size of the actual lettering, so I'll just be voting in opposition. I do actually quite like their little round sign, but I just don't think that the size of the language that actually specifies fresh slice goes with the form and character of the rest of downtown Main Street. That's just my personal opinion. So for that reason, I won't be in favor.
Thanks, Councillor Patterson. Councillor Leonard, go ahead.
Just want to mention the size of the lettering would be within our bylaw requirements anyway. So any business could have a sign that big.
Mr. Allen.
No.
This particular sign is at the maximum height though, in the sign bylaw. Yes. And can I just mention, just while I'm at it, that staff mentioned in the report, and we've had discussions that when we're considering this sign bylaw amendment, that, you know, it's not going to be automatic. There will be, especially in the downtown core, an assessment of the scale and the form and character, because there's still the design guidelines in the downtown development permit area that do affect signage. So that will be written into the bylaw for the downtown core.
Thanks, Mr. Allen. Councillor Ray.
Yeah, I understand wanting to support the aesthetic downtown, but again, like Mr. Allen said, this would be allowed if it was just a single sign on something in the middle of Main Street. And I think the sign bylaw was a painful process, but one thing it did bring out is that people's aesthetics vary from person to person. And the other thing, I think, how many ever years down the road we are, it's getting harder to support Main Street businesses. And I think if an extra sign helps, we should do it.
Thanks, Councillor Ray. Okay, any other comments? I'm just gonna ask one thing because I've forgotten, and Mr. Allen, you mentioned it. We don't have a color palette for signs, is that correct?
Yeah, Mayor Atchell, the only color guidelines are, as they speak to earth tones. Yes, no palette.
Sorry, earth tones for signs or just for buildings?
Just for building facades in general, and signage is part of that facade. Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, I know I'm always the person with signs, but I think it's because I lived through the painful process that Councillor Ray is talking about. And also, I mean, I get feedback on the community in terms of how it looks, and it looks whatever we think that aesthetic is, if we hold the community to it, you know. So this is, you know, the sign's going to fit. There are other signs that are not earth tones for sure. I did spend time looking today. There are some beautiful signs that are old and there's some beautiful signs that are new, and there are some that don't fit at all. Yeah, so I don't know. I think in this case, it's probably just how much sign there is. So having, I always forget the name, but the hanging sign, I think helps deal with what Councillor Leonard was saying. You do want to know where the businesses are. And a corner business, you know, has both the benefit and the disadvantage. You're going to get two frontages to put information on. And, you know, so I guess I'm still struggling with two signs that size, whereas, you know, one of them could perhaps be the second hanging sign. Just something that seemed to have a bit more of a demure look. I'm just going to stop talking, see if there's anyone else, and then we'll vote, see how it goes. Councillor Buckham.
Yeah, I appreciate Councillor Ray saying it's pretty tough to do business on Main Street right now. I mean, if you walk up and down Main Street, you see how our Main Street is hurting. And to me, if two signs can help draw attention to a business, I'm comfortable with that.
Thanks, Councillor Buckham. Okay, Councillor Leonard, then Councillor Raven.
I'd also just like to say, you know, this sign is part of Fresh Slices brand. So if you were to come to me and say, we don't like your brand on our Main Street, it's the wrong message to be sending, I think, for any business. And if we don't want franchises on Main Street, then that's a whole different discussion.
Thanks, Councillor Leonard. Councillor Raven.
I think the franchise piece is absolutely fascinating. Last time I was going through Jasper, there were franchises like banks and these, and they had wooden signs, like they were custom made. So they still had their branding, but they made sure that they were in line with Jasper's regulations. So that really showed me like it is doable. And again, I'm not against the signage. I just think like having one of the small hanging signs and one of the large signs is enough. There's two sets of windows facing two different ways. And also remember 4th Ave is only one direction. So traffic isn't actually going to come from the one side up. It's only one way. So either going to go straight down 4th Ave or else you're turning, but you're going to see either one of the two sets of windows. So I don't think that by not approving this, that we're actually going to harm the business. I think they have alternative routes that's just a little bit more subtle and keeps in line with downtown. I think we are known for our downtown. Amazing Race, when they came through, they did that for our downtown and they talked about the charm. And I have to admit is I don't know if we would still get the same response if we start having big signs on both sides, because I just think of a lot of the corner lots because I did the same thing, and not all the corner buildings have two signs. There's a few, but not all. So I think at this point, I actually have made up my mind that I won't support this. And it's not that I don't support the business. I just think that there's ways of doing it where it'll be in compliance, but still have plenty of visual aids for wayfinding.
Thanks, Councillor Raven. Councillor Leonard.
Just want to mention that we are an active transportation community and we do walk and cycle.
That is true. Yeah, there was two things I was gonna say, just to make sure this takes a really long time, apparently. One, the franchisee, the particular one I remember was Royal Bank, which is certainly a big entity, and their original application was different than the signage we see. And there were examples presented back to the proponent who had a agent, as many do, that said, well, here is examples of your signs all across Canada and you can fit in with the local brand. And they did. They changed the materials and they complied with signs and lighting as required when they redid their facade. So it can be done. The other place sort of to go where Councillor Raven was going is Sun Peaks. When you look around Sun Peaks, like the one that there was a realtor sign, won't name it, it's a well-known brand, and it didn't have any of its colors. It wanted to do business there. I am hearing what people are saying about not wanting to prevent business. I don't want to do that at all. I want to welcome business. I'm also very cognizant of some of the single owner businesses downtown have complied. They have gone to the extent of getting the handmade signs, and this is going to be metal cut, so it does comply. But some of those single owners or small offices have gone and fully complied with the bylaw. So I also think that we need to be aware of that. And so we need, you know, that notion of hearing everyone equally. And if we can hold, you know, hold the road on an owner operated Smithers business, then I think that same thing ought to apply to a franchisee. So it's not about not welcoming a franchisee, but it's saying that, you know, these are the rules that we put in place for others as well. Councillor Ray, and then Councillor Patterson.
Yeah, just as you noted, they have followed the sign or bylaw, except for the second sign. And I also note the Royal Bank has signs on both sides of their corner as well. So, yeah, I would welcome the change to the bylaw to make it more consistent.
Thanks, Councillor Ray. Councillor Patterson.
Thank you, Mayor Atchell. I just want to make sure I'm following this excessive bouncing ball. So the recommendation we have in front of us isn't actually about both of the signage. It's actually about the size of the one size, correct, Mr. Allen? Okay, so I'm prepared to make a subsequent motion that focuses on just the size of the sign itself, because that's sort of where I fall, is that when I look at the form of character and how much small businesses have invested a significant amount in this community to follow the very broad form of character that we have for signage and perhaps color palette, which we've talked about time and time again. I'm prepared to make that, to align it with the existing, maybe I'll look to Mr. Allen, but sticking with the 2.25 meters squared versus the 4 meters squared, so essentially doubling it. But I don't want to restrict, if I make a subsequent motion, the reason, and I'm hoping this will meet other councilors' needs too, is it's just the size of the sign that I have a problem with when I think about the form and character of the downtown, recognizing other people do have larger signs, but they've invested a significant amount in actually investing further in our community and having local artists design that signage, which kind of loosely falls into the form and character that we have in the community. So maybe I'll just leave it there and just, if I'm to make a subsequent motion, I don't want to make it to a specific specification that binds that person. So I could make something that's loosely about a different size. I don't know if that's making any sense, but I'm curious to think those who aren't going to vote in favor, if it's the size or if it's the color or what.
Just speaking personally, it's just the doubling. So I think if I'm following this bouncing ball, we wouldn't have this in front of us if the proponent was proposing the single, if I get the words right, the fascia sign plus the hanging sign, we're good to go. We're here because we're doubling the area in order to facilitate the second sign. Mr. Allen.
I think I mentioned it before. It's not the number of signs that's being varied. It is just simply the maximum permitted area. So if both of these fascia signs were half the size that they're currently proposing, it would be fine at the 2 square meters roughly. But yeah, I think it's partly it's a company policy as well, and they have their own standard signage. And I believe staff have asked if they would consider smaller signage, and I don't know if they had smaller signage readily available. I think it would have had to have been custom made, but that's still, you know, council's prerogative to request that or just not approve the variance application.
I wonder, because it feels like perhaps it's just me that is unclear. Another option would be to get that clarity from staff and just, so I'm looking to see if this makes any sense. Just postpone this until that clarity can be achieved so that it could just come back to the next meeting. And then we could have the yes, no, or additional stuff. But if you think you have all the information, Mr. Allen, then we're not saving anything. But I would be interested in what the response is.
Sorry, Mayor Attrell, I don't have, like, I believe staff requested that information or made that suggestion to the applicant, but I would have to confirm that.
Okay.
Yes.
Then the will of the table, but perhaps unless there's something critical in the timing, just putting this off for 2 weeks and seeing what the proponent says, if there's a way through this, or if all the information has been received. Leave it to the table. Councillor Buckham.
I'm comfortable postponing it.
Then a motion, sorry, did I see something? Oh, Mr. Shorter was just correcting my timing in terms of when the meeting is. It's 3 weeks. The next meeting would be in 3 weeks. Councillor Ray.
Speaking to the postponent, I think it sends a bad message. The proponent has changed. I'm pretty sure that these are supposed to be illuminated sign boxes and they're not. And I think I hear about people talking about investments by locals. It costs a lot of money to buy a franchise as well. And they've chosen Smithers, and I just don't like the message that delaying it does anything.
Thanks, Councillor Ray. I guess it is an opportunity for clarity versus something that looks like it's not going to pass, though. So as I read the table right now. So anyway, I'm open to motions, or we've got one on the floor and I'll call the vote. I'm not seeing a motion to postpone. I'm going to call the question. All in favor? And opposed? It's tied. A tied motion is defeated. Okay. We move on. We are at 14.4, report from Ms. Chandra and the DVP for 3rd Avenue. And this is for Sparrows. There's multiple. Councillor Raven moves the entire motion. Anyone want a second? Councillor Leonard seconds. Discussion. Councillor Buckham.
Yeah, I'm definitely in favor of this. I know our community is in need of assisted living spaces, so it'd be hard to be opposed in any way. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Buckham. Councillor Raven and then Councillor Leonard.
I just really appreciate the thoughtfulness that went behind this. So part of the reason with having the 2 hookups is that way they don't have to tear up the parking lot. And I think that is huge because that saves a lot of time and money as well. Just the setup of everything and the setbacks, it just makes a lot of sense. And I think it just really utilizes that land very well. So I'm supportive.
Thanks, Councillor Raven, Councillor Leonard, then Councillor Ray.
Yeah, I'll just echo the same sentiment. I think this is a great project, and I used to live right across the street and more than 5 years ago, and I was hearing about it then. So it's been in the works for a very long time, and it's really great to see it happen.
Thanks, Councillor Leonard. Councillor Ray, did you want to speak?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask staff, and I do support the whole thing, but I was just wondering if it might make sense in the future for others to be able to have 2 connections if they have a laneway house, or choose to put 4 on one lot.
Mr. Allen?
Yeah, I think that's always a consideration, especially on corner lots. But as it stands now, that would still require a development variance permit application until such time as we amend both the water regulation bylaw and we will be reviewing bylaw 1800, the subdivision standard bylaw, over the next year. But it really speaks to capacity of our water and sanitary sewer mains, and there is a limit on number of connections and the demands on those pipes. So that's always part of the considerations.
Anyone else? All right, all in favor? Any opposed? And that's carried unanimously. Okay, 15.1 from Mr. Lawrence, the road paving update. Councillor Patterson.
Thank you, Mayor Attrell. I know I already mentioned it, but I just want to mention it again. Smithers is looking spiffy with all the new road paving. So thanks to staff.
Thank you. Anyone else? I'm just going to say, maybe it's just me, but I agree with Councillor Patterson, and this map looks like there's nothing on it. So it's pretty funny. Like, it's empty. Oh, there's nothing on mine. It's like completely absent. So it's looking better than the map is looking. Counselor Ray.
Just a question without getting into specific locations through to Mr. Lawrence. When they mill, it seems to me that sometimes, and this is just me, I'm not an engineer, so maybe I'm wrong, but sometimes when they mill down, some of the faults that were in the surface are still in the sub base. Is there a budget to, if it goes down and you can see that there's a fault that needs to be fixed before it's repaved?
Mr. Lawrence.
Through the mayor to Councillor Ray, the milled sections that we saw, and we have the opportunity to review those prior to asphalt being placed. You can see if the milling makes its way down further into the base, then it kind of looks like a sub base issue, but that's just the subgrade where the asphalt isn't. If we noticed some major issues with the base, then that would give us the opportunity to look at more extensive repairs at that time. So we didn't notice anything in this round of milling.
Thank you, and I just ask in the interest of making sure you have enough budget in case that happens.
Thanks, Counselor Ray. Anyone else? Okay, and otherwise, thank you for the report. And Mr. Dewar showed me the online version, which has color. The printed one just does not. It's pretty funny. Okay, and then we're at 16.1 bylaws, procedure bylaw, council procedure bylaw for first, second, and third. If someone would like to move first, please. Councillor Buikema, Councillor Patterson, all in favor? Any opposed? That's carried. And second reading, please. Councillor Patterson, Councillor Raven. Any discussion? Councillor Ray?
I was just wondering, when the change to the mayor, and I don't know if I think it was always there, but the mayor being the sole arbiter of when the public comment period is shut down, would there be a way, if we felt that the mayor was abusing that, for council to say, hey, we actually want to keep listening?
Mr. Schroeder.
Thank you very much. To the question, I don't believe so. Generally the role of the chair is to, maintain decorum and maintain order throughout the proceedings. If the mayor felt that, something someone were being disruptive, and they would have the right to shut down that conversation. To a certain extent, the mayor would have to justify why they were shutting down the public comment, as there is a list of restricted topics that essentially they need to refer to when closing a public comment.
Okay, Councillor Ray.
Well, I just think we've been lucky enough not to have any bad mayors. But thinking about how public processes have gone in some other places where the mayor isn't doing their job, it would just be nice for council, even if it was like a 2/3 vote, to say, hey, no, you can't shut this conversation down.
Mr. Schroeder.
Thank you very much, Mayor. To that point, if council felt that the process were being abused, council could direct staff to come back with bylaw amendments, either removing that authority from the mayor, or coming up with another scheme or arrangement where council held that authority.
Thanks, Mr. Schroeder. Anyone else? Councillor Leonard.
I also share Councillor Ray's concerns, and I was going to mention that as well. I don't know if there's a way that you can word it a bit differently. But to Councillor Ray's point, if we ever had a bad mayor, they can just, and, this bylaw just gives them carte blanche basically to shut anybody down. And I don't think that's what public service is really all about. So that's that comment. The other comment is on page 13, amendment of the bylaw. And I just need this, maybe this amendment, if Mr. Schroeder could give me a layman's example, because I'm really having trouble with the wording. The matter has been subject to a public hearing or opportunity for public input required by an enactment as a prerequisite to the adoption of a bylaw or approval of a permit, including where the prerequisite is exempted from the enactment or by enactment. So can you just give me an example of what that might look like?
Mr. Schroeder.
Thank you very much, Mayor. To the question, zoning bylaws are probably the best example of this. Official community plan bylaws. Official community plan bylaws can be exempted. We dealt with a similar matter recently with a residential with a change in residential zoning that exclusively dealt with the density, which was exempted from a public hearing. So this would just bar that from occurring.
Good.
I'm good. It was just very.
Okay. Councillor Ray.
Sorry, I appreciate Councillor Leonard's backup on that, but I did like Mr. Schroeder's possible workaround. And I think that we have to remember that by passing this bylaw as soon as we can, then staff's able to make the changes using the agenda notes. So I think we can always revisit it later.
Yeah, thanks, Councillor Ray. I think, in my time, it's actually been fairly rare that public comments have been stopped. And you're right, there could be a personality that doesn't want to listen to things, but generally the effort has been made when the comment has extended for an extraordinary amount of time or is somewhat combative. And it's, I've been here, not in this chair, but I've been here for 12 years. And I can only remember maybe twice where the chair made an effort to stop that. And once someone is ramped up, it's hard as well. And, excluding the concern that you both expressed, if the chair was not behaving well, it's probably harder to do than not. I think more times people are given more time and more opportunity. It's sort of the human nature of it. But Mr. Schroeder has described how things, could be changed if you find that it's not effective. And the one other piece, although I don't think it would affect this procedure bylaw, is that there will be changes coming for code of conduct in the fall as well. So there may be things that require an update to this bylaw, and that will just be done when and if required. Okay, any other comments? Seeing none, then all in favor? Any opposed? And that's carried. And third reading, please. Councillor Raven, Councillor Buikema, thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? And that's carried. Okay. Then we have 17.1, a letter from the Zelkant Friendship Center requesting an exemption or policy amendment to our water meter requirement. First to staff, if there's anything that you wanted to add, and then I'll open the table. Okay, I'm not seeing any hands. Councillor Patterson.
Thank you, Metro. Just a question through to staff, just around how small businesses on Main Street, how the water meter process works, because my understanding from talking to a couple of them is it varies. So, and apologies if you don't have the answer now, that's totally fine too, but it was just something that piqued my interest because I have no idea how that works.
Mr. Dewar.
Sorry, can you clarify when you say it varies, do you mean in terms of them having all that commercial area? And I'll look to someone.
Mr. Allen. Everyone's looking across the table at each other. Mr. Allen, you're up.
Sure, I can start it off. There was a time where water meters weren't required in town, and that may be the case for some of the older establishments, maybe. They do pay town flat rate. I think it's a quarterly flat rate in the case where water meter isn't installed. Whenever there's a building permit for, or a development permit for a business in the downtown, then a water meter is a mandatory requirement in any new permit.
Councillor Patterson.
Thank you, Mayor Attrell. I'm hesitant, similar to our PTE, or pardon me, permissive tax exemption conversations, to issue any kind of exemption to anyone, which sounds awful to say out loud, so I apologize. But I would be interested in learning how we create equity based on water usage. It just sort of piqued my interest in how do we do that? So if we charge one organization, if it sounds like they've been grandfathered in to a flat rate, I would just be curious then, like based on, so let's just say that individual uses a significant more amount of water versus somebody who's paying per usage. I'd be interested to have maybe a separate conversation as council on how do we create that equity amongst users. I hope that was clear as water.
And I'm going to suggest maybe that is different than what's in front of us right now. You're talking about another business in this one?
Talking about when I read the letter, I think it's directly related in that what I took from that letter was more about how do we create equity in their request for an exclusion, because if you give it to one person, then you have to give it to everyone. And then I started to ask some of the local businesses about how their water is monitored or not, metered or not. And it just started to pique my interest in that if there's an equity, I think that's what I took from the letter, but that's just my interpretation, obviously.
Okay. Mr. Allen, if you want, then we'll go. Okay, then I don't know who was first. I'm going to go to Councillor Ray and then Councillor Leonard.
So a couple of things I've heard over the years is that actually you save money by going to water metering. So if you're paying the flat rate, it's generally more than what you would be using. And to me, getting equity in how much getting to equity means that everybody needs to have a water meter, because then everybody's paying per usage. And my question on this letter is just, is there something that's coming down the pipe for the Friendship Center where they anticipate having to put one in?
Mr. Dewar.
Not that staff's aware of, but we'll consider that in terms of reporting back to council.
Councillor Leonard.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we're one of the businesses that is grandfathered and just pay a percentage or some sort of fee quarterly. And I would I would welcome a meter, because I know that we
Yes.
probably consume way less water than we pay for. And equity is metering everybody. So I certainly welcome that. And to the request, I share Councillor Patterson's opinion, and I think we shouldn't be giving exemptions. I think water usage is important and users should pay. So that's where I'm at.
Thanks, Councillor Leonard. Councillor Raven.
Yeah, and I'm just going to agree with that sense is we struggled with the permissive tax exemptions and we wanted to make sure that we were creating equity. So we got rid of those. So I am definitely not saying that this is the time to start changing something. So whether to meter or not to meter, if it's the way the bylaw is, I think it makes a lot of sense. I think also we're well aware now more than ever is water is so incredibly important. We have our wells, we've had to deal with drought or with less water than what we're used to. So I think just all of us taking the time and doing the things to make sure we're using that resource well.
Councillor Raven. Are there other comments at this time?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Just got your mic on. Okay. I'm going to say that I agree. If we had the resources, I think we should just water metering everyone would be the way we'd figure out how much water is used. And then people would also know how much water they're using. Mr. Allen's maybe been here long enough to remember. I feel like I'm echoing former Councillor Northrup, who I think often said that was the way forward and we ought to be moving down the path to water meters. So I would support that. And I know it's a big project and it's not on the table right now, but it would be a way for us to know better what's going on. Okay, so then we could have a motion, or I can just ask staff if there, would you like a motion to say to reply with okay. Can we have a motion then advising that we will not be doing the exemption. Counselor Raven moves, seconder, Counselor Leonard. And that will inform the letter writer. Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? And that's carried unanimously. Okay. That works for you? Okay. And then the 18s, is there anything you would like to pull out of the 18s for correspondence?
18.6.
18.6. Okay. Any others? Okay, 18.6. Counselor Leonard.
I just wanted to mention or ask, actually request, if we could maybe share this program on our Facebook page and maybe on our website, because I can think of a couple of, and the word is escaping me, nonprofit societies that would benefit from this program, and just sort of to get the information out there in the hands so that they can apply themselves.
Sorry, Counselor Leonard, which program?
Sorry, the seniors. New Horizons for Seniors program.
18.5, you tricked us all.
Oh,
Okay,
sorry.
that's okay.
It's kind of how my day is going.
Okay, we're with you now.
Sorry.
And now that we're with you, could you just repeat what you want us to do?
Just maybe the town can share it on their Facebook page and the town website that this money is available for nonprofits.
Okay, would you like a motion to that effect?
How about we look into it and just see if it meets our social media policy?
We're good with that? Okay, thank you. Okay, I think that's it unless there was anything I missed or forgot. With that, thanks, everyone. And I'll take a motion to adjourn. Counselor Bucama. No, I'm going to take a motion to recess. Counselor Bucama, Counselor Patterson, all in favor? Any opposed? And we are recessed for a few minutes. Take 5.